Do you find, because I think there may be that perception that young people, children, teenagers, young adults might want to keep their grandparents at arm's length. Is that just a false perception?
It certainly is. Research says outside of parents, grandparents are the safety net. You go into any inner city and you see grandparents are many times raising children. Over 2.5 million households are headed by grandparents raising their grandchildren. Now, that's not optimum because grandparents aren't wired at that age and stage to do that. But they step up, Bob, and those, I am committed, are the heroes of the next generation. Now, on a personal note, I have 14 of these, what I call arrows that I'm going to shoot into another generation that I may never see. So when this beautiful woman next to me married me, oh my goodness, she inherited a clan and a half. And so she jumped in a way that I was so thankful and blessed to have.
Okay, so Michelle, instant grandparent. That's
Yes.
pretty cool. So give us an idea about what that is like to all of a sudden have a, what would you call it, Ken? Blended grand family.
Yes, a
something.
blended grand family. There, we haven't called it that. I like that, Bob.
You may never want to call it that again.
Well, here's the reality, and maybe I'm speaking to some other grandmothers who have had a situation like mine, but I stepped into a family where these children dearly loved their Nana. She invested well. They brought out their American Girl dolls and told me the story of Nana taking them to Chicago to a tea party with their dolls. They showed me cards. They showed me clothes that Nana had bought them. And I felt so honored that immediately I was hearing the stories of a grandmother who I believe handed a baton to me. And even at our honeymoon, at our after-wedding party, boy, it brings tears to my eyes even still, but is I told Ken that when he shared with me the footage from the funeral, because I wasn't there, he had all of the 14 grandkids stand up. Well, less than. They've grown since then. But he literally held a baton up, and a baton up to these girls and boys, young lives. Now the oldest is almost 16.
Yes.
Handed them, metaphorically speaking, he said, Nana is handing you this baton to run after Jesus, to love the Word of God. She's prayed for you, those kinds of things. And I sat and sobbed and said, I believe she's handing me that baton to love these children and to pray for them. And one of the greatest gifts that Ken's daughters gave me, 4 of them, 3 daughters, 1 daughter-in-law, is a necklace that Dee had worn. And each one has a name of one of the grandkids on it. And they said, we want you to wear this. And I brought it here with me. I love this necklace. I said, if I ever had a fire, this is one of the things I would take. Because even though they're still grieving the loss of this amazing mother and grandmother, somehow God has called me for this next leg of the journey. And I've told them, I know we all wish, me too, that you could have her back. But yet I want to follow Jesus and stepping into this assignment. And I'm praying for you and I'm loving you. And I've done overnights with some of them and gotten to be there when they've gotten sick or when they're doing art in the art room. And it's something I'm learning as I go, but I'm so honored to be alongside Ken and to love these kids.
Yeah, so for the listeners of Faith Radio, we want to encourage you right now. Despite whatever family form you're in, whether it's a step, blended, complex, or you're raising grandchildren, be assured that God has a plan to lift you up. And what Faith Radio does and what this entire conference is about is lifting up the voice of Jesus to guide you, to strengthen you as he's guided me in meeting Michelle.